What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And in this video, I do want to go over another change I would most likely say in the Motorfest beta that every player probably noticed insanely quick. That's going to be that yes, the classes are going to be different. So being on the Crew 2 right now, you guys probably notice like Hypercar, Rally Raid, Motocross, and/or Rally Cross. You also notice Hovercraft, Aerobatics, and/or Jet Sprint, which obviously a lot of these classes are a lot different and/or changed, and/or completely removed from this game, which I would say is going to be a great thing. Almost like seeing the air race and/or like Alpha GP cars and/or Powerboat. But if we jump back onto Motorfest though, you guys are then going to notice how a lot of these categories are a lot different and/or a lot more cleaned up than they were before. So I would actually say one of the biggest changes I did notice is how the street class is now going to be in two separate tiers compared to before. So if you guys were wondering how this is actually going to work, the street tier 1 is basically going to be full of like classic and or different types of cars, like let's say the Plymouth Roadrunner and or something like the Honda Civic Type R that was added into this game as well. So they are also going to be slightly slower than the street tier 2. Which, don't get me wrong, at first I was actually very concerned and or kind of wondering how this was actually going to work, but I really do think it's actually going to be way better like this. So the Street Tier 1 vehicles will be a max level of 600, and the Street Tier 2 are going to go up to level 750, so they are going to be significantly different in how they do drive, and or like their overall power and or top speed, but I really do think it is going to be much better like this now, guys, because the cars will be separated, and I really do think a lot of those old classic vehicles most likely should not be going against a Lamborghini Huracan. I would probably say that's going to be a very good thing, and or like a maxed out Toyota Supra. How is it actually going to be fair seeing like a Honda Civic Type R and or something like an old Challenger going against that car, which, don't get me wrong, you can't obviously build them out, but I still would say an old Charger is most likely going to get destroyed by a Huracan, especially on a track and or around a lot of corners, unless you race like Fast and Furious, which is most likely not going to be a thing. But then moving down, you then see Drift, which a lot of the classes in Motorfest are still going to basically be exactly how they were in the Crew 2, but some of their names are going to be slightly different. So obviously Drift does mean drift. We're also going to have something like Racing, which is now going to be the touring cars that were in the Crew 2. So the only big difference here, guys, is the name is going to be different. To be honest, I would say that's going to make a lot more sense, but most of the other classes are still going to be exactly like they were in the Crew 2. So obviously we have things like Rally, which is now going to be Rally Cross, and then Monster now gets rid of the truck part of it, which kind of does make sense. And you're then going to notice on the bottom though is now going to be Plane, and for this, guys, the Aerobatics and or the regular air race planes are now in one category. And I really do think a lot of people are most likely going to agree that you don't have to have two different vehicle classes like that, especially because most people don't even want to use an aerobatic plane anyway, including myself. So what is the actual point of leveling up two different classes if you don't even have to really use one of them? For example, guys, in the summits on the Crew 2, if there was like an aerobatic skill, you don't even have to use those planes. You can actually use an air race, which funnily enough are also a lot better than the aerobatic planes in basically every way. So I guess it does kind of make sense that they actually put both of them in one class, and that way you can still experience a plane if you do like to, because don't get me wrong, I really do like flying the planes in the Crew 2, which I will be messing with the settings in Motorfest more. I would like to know what you guys think about this in the comments below, like for example, which change is going to be your favorite and why? For me, I would most likely say seeing the street category being broken up into two different classes. I really do feel like it's going to help so much with balancing indoor summits, but also you won't have to see a Cobra go against like a Lamborghini Huracan, so that's always going to be a great sight to see. But I do want to know what you guys think in the comments below, and as always, guys, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more insight.